Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 Support Conversations. I'm Solanima.
And my name is Zathos, and this is Take Two.
Yeah, because apparently my program was stupid and decided not to record my side of the conversation. It was kind of a one-sided, that's only podcast, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work.
Doesn't that work like most of the time?
Well, I'm not saying that you couldn't hold a podcast on your own. I'm saying that you'd be responding to like an imaginary voice in your head.
Huh.
That'd be interesting, actually. I don't have that recording anymore, but we're going to try again.
Alright. So, last time, I don't remember what it is that we started with, but...
I think try to do some kind of awkward segue into it. We're not going to try and do like an exact copy.
Yeah.
We've got the same topic, but we'll just
We're
go
mostly,
over.
we're mostly winging it, but I remember specifically what it is that we wanted to talk about was that we mostly spent a lot of our conversation talking about MMOs. But before we get to that, I want to say something really quick.
Go ahead.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Now-
that just came out.
Now, my brother and I, we have very differing opinions on this, and it's mostly because my brother and I, although we came from the exact same origins, we mostly played the exact same games and all this stuff. It was on my adolescent years into my high school years that we started branching off. My brother, who kind of became a pretty casual stoner as time went on, he doesn't anymore, but he was a stoner for a while. But because of that, most of the games that he played weren't really high intensity and were pretty relaxed and pretty chill games.
Yeah. Whereas you moved on towards, I think mostly fighting games tend to be your favorite genre, right?
I was fighting games, and I went into MLG, and I'm really embarrassed to say that, but
Yeah, there was a time where you played Halo competitively, like
Yeah,
ranked online play and
yeah,
all that.
I played it crazy competitively, and I was really serious about it because when I was that young, I had dreams of being a professional gamer, and
Yeah,
then like
who didn't?
my
What-
skills just never got up to that point where I could play competitively.
Yeah,
And
for
I was
me,
like,
I always had dreams of like, making a living off playing games, being like an esports star and all that. But it's more like a that'd be nice kind of thing as opposed to I'm going to
Yeah.
do that. Because
Yeah,
I knew that I wasn't going to match
which
up
for
to
me,
that
I
level.
went for it, and
Yeah, good for you.
I got a little bit in there. I did make a little bit of prize money, but I never made like a fuck ton. Like
Yeah.
it was right in that uncanny valley where it's just like, if I could just get a little bit better, I could probably be at the bottom of professional players.
Yeah, I remember you telling me one time about a contest you entered, which was less of a skill contest, more of an endurance contest.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like-
that didn't have anything to do with MLG. It was mostly like I was with a group, and I can't remember the name of the group for the life of me. But it was a group that a friend of mine, his name was Vulgar. His real name's Eric, but his screen name was Vulgar. And he had this thing where like you would play, and if you were there for events, you got points, and then as you racked up points, you could then go to the store and trade in those points for like things.
Yeah, for real prizes.
Yeah, and it was things like gaming chairs or accessories and stuff like that. It was pretty cool, and I thought that was really nice, and I showed up for most of those things. But the one thing I remember the most of it is that when it asked me to put my avatar, I put the Korean ad for tofu, and Corey, I'm gonna send you this picture, so I hope you edit it in right about now.
Okay, I'll try to remember, but I can't make any promises.
But it was
Also, it's supposed to be an audio-only podcast, but whatever.
I don't care. It was this giant square of tofu screaming at the top of its lungs that tofu brings magic happy. And that was my avatar. And I don't know why, it just made me laugh.
Yeah, I just remember you telling me the story like shortly after it happened of your endurance contest, which was like I think it was like a 72-hour contest where you played each of the like 3 24-hour periods. You played a different game, and the rules were like you had to stay active for like you had to stay active for like a certain amount of time. If you put down your controller for more than like 20 seconds, then you're out.
Yeah, and there was scheduled bathroom breaks and whatnot.
Yeah, you're allowed to use energy drinks. All that you just had to stay awake for it. And the way they also set it up was really good for endurance because the first 24 hours was Halo, which is high intensity shooting stuff and all that. And the second 24 hours was Left 4 Dead, which is a lot more quiet and tense.
Yeah.
And the third 24 hours was Uno.
Yeah.
which is which I can attest to being extremely relaxing, and it's very easy, I imagine, after 48 straight hours of gaming, falling asleep to that.
And I know most people are just thinking, it's like, you played Left 4 Dead for 24 hours? Jesus.
Yeah. Did you say you got second? Did you say you got second place because the person you're up against started singing you lullabies?
Yeah, she's saying me to sleep. I'm just like, damn it, you cheating whore. But yeah, so I got second place, but it was pretty fun. But my point is that back to No Man's Sky. My brother and I, we actually got into an argument about this because my brother and I have very differing opinions when it comes to our favorite games. Like for me, I absolutely love, like right now, I don't mean like right now, but probably for like the next few decades, I am absolutely in love with Dark Souls and From Software. I believe that they have made fantastic games, masterpieces of games.
I would agree.
Excluding Dark Souls 2.
Which was not bad, just wasn't as good as the rest.
To a certain extent. I mean, the mechanics of Dark Souls 2 I love, the story and the setting, which is bleh.
Yeah, it's like, my example would be like, if you take the Arkham trilogy, the three really great games, at least in my opinion, all three of them really solid experiences. You compare that to Arkham Origins, Origins is not a bad game, it's just, yeah, it's good in its own right, it's just not as good. It just, when it's put up next to the Arkham trilogy, it's just not as good.
Anyway, my brother and I, we ended up getting into an argument because like he asked me like it's like, hey, do you got a PS4? And I was like, yes. And he's like, what games you got for it? And I was like, Bloodborne. Because I wasn't gonna tell him that I had DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball 3. because he gave me a lot of shit for getting the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you have?
Those are the only two games I have for the PS4.
Huh.
And I am perfectly content with that.
Well,
I've got Uncharted as well, but like
the Uncharted trilogy.
I don't even know where the fuck that is.
I think it's actually either on your PS4's hard drive or the box came with a code to download it. Well, that's what it was for me. I got that, and then on the side I also got Guitar Hero Live because that was part of the bundle.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Anyways, so those are the only games I have for it. That being said, I absolutely adore Bloodborne. I think I would be super happy if Bloodborne could come to the PC, but because it was like contracted by Sony to be an exclusive, I highly doubt it's ever going to come over. Just like David.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Excuse you, Corey. Just like Demon's Souls.
Yeah. Although I will say, even though I haven't finished Bloodborne, I think it's a really great game, and I do need to go back and finish it. I just need to figure out how to take on Rom.
Yeah. Again, I recommend to you, like there's a lot of things that you can do before ROM. Like there's a lot of exploring that you can do, especially in the Forbidden Woods, which you absolutely love being in there.
No, I don't.
Hence, that was a joke. Just popped my ears. Anyways, my point is that we get into a bit of a discussion, and I'm basically explaining why it is that I love Bloodborne and I love Dark Souls and whatnot. And he's trying to explain that it's not that what they did wasn't original. And I'm just like, is anything original anymore?
Yeah, I think wasn't someone who said that there's like 12 stories that humanity could tell, and every story since then have been like spin-offs of the original stories.
Yeah, but that's in terms of like a story perspective. I think he was trying to say from like a gameplay perspective, where he was like, it was like this and all stuff. And I was like, well, yes, granted, most From Software games have followed the same formula ever since Demon's Souls. It's a third-person, essentially hack and slash, through a world with fantastic bosses. It's great. It's wonderful. The music is beautiful.
Yeah, I noticed that through all games, but especially Dark Souls 3 just nailed the music so well.
And Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, of course. From the first boss, the cleric beast.
That cleric beast, oh my god.
In that video, like the dog howling.
Oh, it's so great, I love it. But my point is that as much of a huge fan I am of Bloodborne and Dark Souls, my brother just doesn't see the same thing. For me, when I bring up Dark Souls and how great of a game it is, he says Dragon's Dogma is much better. Dragon's Dogma plays completely differently than Dark Souls.
I played a little bit of Dragon's Dogma. It was fun, but it's not Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is one player. You're alone most of the time, unless you opt to summon someone in, which generally costs you something. Like
Yeah.
in Dark Souls 1, you had to have reversed your hollowing,
At the bonfire, yeah.
and I believe you had to have at least one humanity to summon someone. I
No,
could be wrong.
you just have to be human.
Okay, so you
But
needed
you had to reverse your hollowing at the bonfire
Yeah.
itself, so you had to like reverse hollowing, then get to the boss without being invaded.
Yeah, as well as that cost you a humanity in the first place to reverse your hollowing.
Yeah.
And so you would reverse your hollowing, go find a summon sign, which was hard. Like especially like when we played Dark Souls 1, it was like quite a little bit past its heyday. It was still alive, and I believe it still is today.
Yeah,
But,
there's a
like,
resurgence on like there's like a bunch of people on Reddit create like a Dark Souls revival day where everyone started new characters and suddenly the servers were super active.
Anyways, my point
Like
is
a
that
weekend.
my point is that you and I remembered how weird the hitboxes were for that.
Yeah.
We were fighting the gaping dragon. I was like 2 feet away from him, and he hits me and kills me. I'm just like, oh yeah, this game was flawed.
Yeah. Amazing but flawed.
So
To the point of Dark Souls 3 where they actually had, someone coined the term hitbox porn because the
Yeah.
hitboxes are so on point.
yeah, but again, my point is that there's a difference between Dark Souls 3 and there's a difference between Dark Souls and Dragon's Dogma. While Dragon's Dogma, I haven't played it personally, but I've seen demo play it, and it looks like it's fairly party based. It looks like it's more inspired by Dragon Age.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be like a co-op game, but that they ended up having to strip that for some reason. But yeah, it's still like you're playing with an in-game party, and
Yeah.
to me it always looked like it looks like kind of like a Dark Souls with maybe a little bit of a Shadow of the Colossus inspiration because you can climb the beast that you're fighting.
Cool.
It's not like the puzzle boss where you can have to like find your way to their weak point and then stab it. It's more like, you know, like the strong guy can like your fighter can like you like a lift to like toss it up to like this griffin, and you grab onto the griffin and start climbing and stabbing it wherever you can.
Anyways,
It's a cool idea.
these are two completely different games, but my brother tries to equate them, which
Yeah.
is frustrating. That's like that is like saying, hey, I really like I really like if you're watching anime and you're like, hey, I really like the Dragon Ball Z, I really like Dragon Ball Super. I think they're doing a fantastic thing. It's like, you know what's better than Dragon Ball Super? Madoka Magica. And I'm like, these are different.
Yeah, they both
You
have
can't-
fighting in them, but they're very different kinds of fighting.
You can't compare.
It's like saying, hey, I really like the game Super Mario 64. It's like, you know what's similar to that? Because it's also in 3D? Ocarina of Time.
Superman
No.
64.
Yeah.
My point is that my brother and mine's were arguments. They generally don't work out very well.
You
because-
never end up convincing one or the other. You're both just
Yeah,
set in
no.
your
So-
thoughts.
So out of us debating with each other over like how awesome Dark Souls is, because my brother clearly is never gonna win that. I end up saying, like I bring up, it's like, well, we can agree that No Man's Sky is shit, right? Like it's a disappointment. To which he says, I'm tired of hearing that. I was like, no.
Yeah, from what I've heard, No Man's Sky it's not that it's bad, it's just that it was hyped to unbelievable levels, so of course no one's going to get the experience they expected.
See, for me, I didn't believe any of the hype because I never heard any of the hype because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
From what I heard,
I heard a lot of the hype, and
from-
as it came closer to launch, I was really hyped when I first heard of it, but as it came closer to launch, I'm like, okay. Still know a whole lot about the game, and seeing the level of hype it's getting, there's no way it's going to hit that level. Like, no game can possibly hit the level of hype that it got. So I kind of lowered my expectations, and so I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected.
So what I heard about the game was that you could fly in space and go from planet to planet. I was
That's
like,
cool.
That's cool. Okay. Which
I've
you
always
can
wanted a
do.
game. I've always wanted a game where you can get into a ship on one planet and then actually fly, like no loading screen, just fly from one planet to another.
Yeah.
And not a lot of games let you do that, which is really cool.
All right.
At least not from a first-person perspective, actually getting into your ship.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
The fact that is in No Man's Sky is great.
I also like the title.
Yeah, that's cool. There was going to be like these whole faction system that was going to be huge, as well as like there was a faction for fighting, there was a faction for trading, and there was a faction for exploring. Granted, these factions exist, but according to what is that I've heard, they're borderline useless.
Yeah. From what I've heard, the game suffered Peter Molyneux syndrome, where the developers talking about things that they were really excited for, things they're implementing. But they wouldn't say that these are featured in the game. It's like these are things we're working on, are really excited about, but they either due to funding or time they weren't able to finish the features. They had to strip them down to more basic or remove them sometimes.
Which I could understand that if it wasn't for the fact that I had seen developer video of fully rendered of the game fully rendered and playable with these amazing things going on.
Yeah.
Of where you could get to like a Federation ship and you could see these ships going to the planet's surface and back, doing trade routes and whatnot, and you could be flying around and you could find yourself caught in the middle of a battle, which you could choose to either join or not, and whatnot, and you would see these giant, huge ships just moving across the stars and whatnot. But that's not there. Like if you want to know, a nutshell of how it is, that you could just look up like Angry Joe's review of No Man's Sky, which is about a 30-minute video, but it's okay. My biggest flaw with it, and is the fact that you can. It was advertised that you can customize your ships so that way each ship is unique and can serve a different purpose. Like, for instance, you could make a ship that's based on exploring, where you have good fuel, you have good fuel economy, you're relatively fast, and your ship is lightly defended. Like you've got like a basic thing for self-defense, and like most of your things probably go to shields or something, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that sounds cool. Or you can make one that's more for like offense, where it's like you don't give a fuck about exploring, so fuel economy isn't that big of a thing for you.
Heavily armored, lots of weapons.
Yeah, heavily armored, lots of weapons, and but like your top speed is gonna be like affected by it, because apparently what mass means something in space. I don't know. Like I
don't know the physics.
I don't know space physics too well. Aside from that, there isn't very much of them.
I know that you'd be able to take things like dragon wind resistance out of the equation, but I imagine that it still takes a lot of energy to get a large mass moving.
Yeah. Anyways, my point is that...
Might be more based on size than weight or something like that, I don't know.
And then it'd take even more energy to get it to stop.
Yeah. That's the scary thing about space. Once things started, it's hard to get it to stop. You can't just wait for it to slow down. It's not going to slow down if you cut the engines.
Cut the engines. That's a terrible idea.
We're not going any faster. Not going any slower either.
So but that was all a lie. There is no diversity in ships. Each ship is essentially the same as the previous ship, which I think is absolutely terrible. And not to mention the videos that I saw, which again, all the research I've done for No Man's Sky is essentially from Angry Joe's thing, which I admit is not a very good thing of research. I do plan to go do some more research, but this is essentially my opinion from it. Is that with what I've seen, where you come down to the surface of a planet and there was life everywhere. Like you couldn't go a step without seeing half a dozen species. Especially if this was a planet that you had never been to. This is a planet that you had never been to, and no life here had ever been documented. Then that means everywhere was a new species. Everything from small insects to giant brontosaurus motherfuckers. Everything here could be documented. And I was just like, that sounds awesome for someone who wants to be like that.
Yeah, and it's got online servers, so when you discover something, if it shows up on someone else's game, it'll already have a name and have your name attached to it.
Yeah, which is cool. And so much of the game ended up having to be kind of gutted, but and what I just described, that goes away a lot. But
I think the lesson that we learned here is that this is why AAA game developers tend to keep keep the clamp down on what information gets leaked about their game.
Yeah.
Because a lot of features that are in development will end up, there'll be something wrong with it that makes it not work out, even though you
Yeah.
see like in a trailer, there might be something that's like, oh, this is really cool and it works in this gameplay video, but it counteracts this other feature that we're trying to add that's actually
Yeah.
more important to the game. So, you know,
Yeah.
a
Which
lot of times there are things that change, and
which is understandable. I can perfectly understand this, but my problem here is that there's so much of the game that it essentially doesn't feel finished.
yeah.
Like,
So one thing I've heard about game development is that, like on Xcred's talking about like releasing your first game, saying eventually, like no game's ever released completely finished, because like even back in the day where there weren't like day one patches and all that, there'll always be features you wish you could implement. There'll always be things that you wish you could spend a few more hours or a few more days working on or adding to make it cooler. Eventually, you have to hit that publish button. You have to send it off to get copies printed.
So
yeah.
my problem. So there was this huge thing about getting to the center of the universe, okay? Where like getting to the center of the universe was like this big goal, like this big thing that was just like, hey, get to the center of the universe, it's great. But once you get there, all you do is just get thrown into reverse as you back up through the rest of the galaxy.
What I heard was that once you get there, it actually like takes you to a whole other galaxy.
Yes, it does, but while it's doing that, it just takes forever. like it's such a weird thing, and it's not very climactic. It's just like just backing up through the universe.
Yeah.
And like the entire time it's happening, I'm just hearing SpongeBob going, backing up, backing up,
backing up, backing up.
And then you get to, and it's like, well, backed up. And
yeah, I remember getting to the center of the galaxy in Spore. That was a fun experience.
That was Steve, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're going through like this wormhole, all these different colors and like symbols and stuff passing by, and you have this really epic voice narrating like how you're like the first species to ever reach the center of the galaxy, and like you're so awesome and all that stuff. And eventually you get there, and it's like this really tiny saucer. It's like, I'm Steve. And then afterwards, like when you leave, they give you the Staff of Life, which is an item that has 42 uses that will turn any planet into, basically fully terraform any planet, including like adding species to live on it and stuff. It's like, boom, this planet's now fully like a fully livable paradise.
And it's like, go nuts. But which is my problem. Like, I even told my brother where it was like, I don't believe this game should be full priced. I believe that this game should really be $40 tops.
Yeah.
Now, if DLC comes out later, or if patches comes out later that fills in these holes and fixes some of these problems, then yeah, by all means, you can fix that price. You could fix that price. But
until then, you're gonna hold off your purchase.
I'm gonna absolutely hold off on my purchase. If like I'd rather play Elite Dangerous than
or Empyrean, the other game we had.
That game that I just live. Josh and I played it a little bit while without you, and I realized something very important. I don't like playing that game with Josh.
Yeah, he's got very different goals.
It's so boring.
Yeah, like I kind of feel mixed. Like, 'cause on the one hand, I can kind of agree. I have more fun with like his way of building things and automating all that stuff than you do. But it's nice to have someone who understands the mechanics, and it's like, here, this is how you build a starship, or this is how you build, a land vehicle. Like, we didn't know how to do any of that stuff until you got in and started looking at the mechanics and all that. But I feel like the three of us would probably have fun with it, just because Josh would be like the one at base constructing all these things and making elevators into like this deep underground base, and we'd just be off like getting killed by drones.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's about 20 minutes I was talking about not our main topic.
So
let's segue over into
my point is, No Man's Sky is bleh. It's not absolutely terrible. It's just bleh.
Yeah. I remember Spore having the same problem with a lot of hype before release, and to me, I really enjoyed the game. Like, it didn't live up to the hype because no game could live up to that little hype, but I really enjoyed the experience and had fun with it. And the expansion added a lot of stuff. It's great for people who have fun creating things, but also want to play in their creations. Is the best way to explain it. So anyways, let's go on to what we were going to talk about today, which is MMORPGs.
No. Let's talk about how shit they are. Now,
there are good things. Before we start, can we just go over real quick the things that we do like about them?
I've already forgotten.
That
was a good list. Now, on to the shit one.
The one thing I will say about them is, I like the concept of MMOs. I like the idea of, 1,000 players all in one world together, and there's a lot of fun to be had in that. And MMOs tend to get more fun the more people that you have playing.
Yeah.
I could probably go into more details specifically, but in general, that's like the best thing about MMOs is that, and then a lot of times they tend to be pretty chill experiences. If you want to just relax and just do something like that's kind of mindless way to just talk to friends, it's a good experience. That being said,
you know what I think would be great? Like, I just thought about this thing for a second. Okay, so if someone's out there making an MMO, can you please implement a legendary system? And let me explain what I mean by this, okay?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Go ahead.
Now, when someone kills a huge boss, like let me take an example from World of Warcraft, where like if somebody kills Ragnaros, the Fire Lord, okay?
Yeah.
And he's the first one to kill Ragnaros? Kill Ragnaros! Like, Ragnaros is gone.
Okay, so usually that's a raid boss, so it'd be a guild that would get that honor.
Yeah, so something like that, okay? Like, make it so he's like the boss is dead. No one else can fight the boss because he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, and now this glory of destroying this boss goes to this guild or individual. Okay, like if we make it like if we do it like as an individual, where it's like if it wasn't a raid boss and it was just like it was just like a one-man boss, it was like dude, this guy killed the Hogger. Again, using World of Warcraft as an example. Yeah. Like this person is known as like the Hogger Slayer or something or something like that. Like attach titles to people's achievements.
Yeah.
Now, and I understand why it is people would have a problem with that. It's like, well, if they kill the boss, then no one else can fight the boss, and what's the point of a game without a boss? And I'm just like, well, I can understand.
It's also the fact that a lot of time money goes into making these bosses, and if it's gone after it's been killed once, then that's a lot of money wasted. But a lot of people are going to see that content.
Which is why it is that you can implement some kind of timey-wimey thing, where you can go to a thing, go back in time, and just have the data from when the guild fought the raid boss, and just use it like a replay system, like how Blizzard does for their StarCraft replays, where you fight the boss alongside the guild.
That'd be cool too.
You don't get the title or anything for killing the boss, but you do get to fight the boss with them.
Yeah, that'd be a very different kind of MMO.
I don't know.
I think that'd be cool.
I'm tired of it's like, hey, I got the hammer of the Fire Lord, and it's just like, yeah, so does 6 million other people.
Yeah.
Like this item has no purpose anymore. Rarity breeds value.
Yeah, and most of them was just more like rarity breeds grinding.
Yeah.
Because you just have to keep grinding until eventually you get like your legendary set of armor, and then you can go fight the next boss and start grinding for the next set of armor.
Speaking of which, can we also get intelligent bosses who can read a player's equipment? Now let me explain this. If you're in like, let's say a 5-man boss, where it's like you've got like your tank, your healer, your DPS, your other DPS, and your other tank. Okay, I don't fucking know. Let's just say that's your group. Okay.
Yeah.
If one
maybe
of the
two melee DPS and a ranged DPS, something like that.
Going back to the example of a fire boss, like if this boss uses 90% fire damage for all of their attacks, and you go in there wearing the legendary, and I mean like this is the title of the armor, the legendary armor of fire resist, okay, let him know what that is.
Or at least find out after a couple attacks, like, oh, that's not doing very much damage. Let's switch my tactics up.
Well, not even that. Like, if it's a legendary armor, aka well-known armor of fire resist, and your tank is wearing that, and he goes, "Oh, that's well." He acknowledges that that's the armor of fire resist. He knows that his attacks aren't going to do diddly squat to him. He is then going to change his tactics. He, drawing pulling the boss's aggro doesn't work as well for that tank because the boss is just like, it doesn't matter if I attack you. You have incredible resistance to my attacks. I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to attack someone else.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of like MMO veterans who could say why that'd be a problem from a gameplay perspective. I feel like
Yes.
a lot of what we're doing is like pulling on our experience from single-player RPGs and wanting to have more of that in MMOs.
Yeah, which is why it is that I have to say this. MMO veterans, why do you want to play the same game over and over again but with different color palettes?
Yeah, a lot of them do feel very samey because they're all trying to be like the World of Warcraft killer, but they just end up being another copy of World of Warcraft that doesn't have the experience or pedigree behind it.
Yeah, which is just...
Yeah, making an MMO is a very time-consuming, expensive venture, I could tell.
Exactly, but this is one of my main reasons why it is that I want an MMO that is interesting. I don't want an for instance, if you're a level 1 and you have a friend that has like level 70 armor that he doesn't need and he just gives it to you, let that level 1 wear level 70 armor. But give him problems. Like, for instance, if he's wearing level 70 armor, and but make the armor too big for him.
Yeah.
You know, make his attacks do a lot less damage, or make him possible to be toppled over.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Don't put, you must be at least this level to wear. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. That also kind of goes into the fact of every character is the legendary hero of who's going to save the world.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're the one, you're the chosen one. We've all been waiting for you. And then it's like, what about all these hundreds of people around me who are just starting their adventure, and all the ones who've already completed every quest? Are they not legendary heroes as well? Is the world not saved?
Yeah, but we're kind of bad at keeping it saved.
I mean, I remember hearing about one MMO that I thought was a really cool idea, where your character is persistent, but each world you only have one life. So it's like there's permadeath, but you don't lose your character when you die.
Okay.
Like, your character's just like, once they die, they're banished from that realm, and they can't re-enter that world anymore. But there's other worlds they can enter.
I think I told you about that.
Maybe you did.
Like as a theory.
Maybe it was theory. I thought I heard it was as an actual game. Maybe it was just us talking about cool ideas. Which, if someone hears that idea and says, yeah, I agree, that's a cool idea for a MMO, then by all means,
and you
I'd
have
love to
like
play
a
it.
bajillion servers.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the hard thing. Is, I mean, my thought, I think, if this was a theory, I thought we would talk about...
You ever die so much you end up in the Asian servers?
Yeah, but I think my thought on it was like each world, there'd be a bunch of worlds open at a time, like maybe a handful of worlds, but like each world would have like a lifeline. Like eventually that world, once the problem of that world is solved, that portal closes and another portal opens to a different world.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously that would be that'd be very time consuming having to make these worlds and all that, but
Yeah.
maybe you can do it in an art style that makes it so you can crank out a world in a month.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I could see something like that happening.
I always thought about the idea of permadeath in MMOs, and obviously it's very difficult, especially if you're paying for this game or paying a monthly subscription fee. You know, losing a character permanently like that kind of sucks. So having some way to hold on to your character and still be able to play after you die is the hard part.
Yeah. Also, make I'm not saying make each character a special snowflake. That comes down to the player, but
Yeah, work into the story some way that these characters are all like possibly the legendary hero, but they don't know. It's like
no, so something even more than that. Like, for instance, if someone is playing a rogue, give them backstory options.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, this is coming from Dungeons and Dragons, but like experience here. But if you have a rogue, there are many different styles of rogues. You have violent rogues, you have non-violent rogues, you have you have everything. If you like those are the spectrums of violent and non-violent rogues. And there are so many in there. You could have rogues that are just talkers. They're much better talkers than fighters. And then you have other rogues who, yes, they're fighters, but they're more like sneak attack fighters. not
Yeah.
really like not really like they'll fight you head on, but they'll fight you, and there are rogues that'll fight you head on, but they'll fight you dirty, where like they'll throw sand in your eye, kick you in the balls.
Yeah,
You
again,
know?
that comes down to the whole idea of, for your backstory, you have to have like you have to have content created that only the players who choose that specific backstory will see.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit difficult.
Which is, I understand that it's difficult, but difficulty does not mean impossible. I can
Difficult.
attest.
It's like difficult, time consuming, and expensive. So and they only have so much of those resources. It's the hard part.
My point still remains is that
Yeah.
is that it is hard. This is my biggest problem with MMOs, is that getting into an MMO, making your character, is even with MMOs that have create your character where like you can customize, like you can crazy customize them.
Yeah.
I think like
Like you've seen like Black Desert Online.
or like the Old Republic, and even this other one that was, it was like this Korean MMO that was really hyped for. It was Aeon, because like at like level 10 your character gets their wings and they can fly, and I was just like, that sounds awesome. It's like, and you can have aerial combat, and I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And like I remember trying to play it and I was like,
Yeah, this feels like every other MMO I've ever played, and the addition of aerial combat, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but still gonna be pressing the same buttons.
It's just ground combat higher.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to implement something like aerial combat, can we please get something cool?
Yeah, I've always had theories about like making a game based on like I guess the inspiration would be like the book This Present Darkness, and the concept of angelic warfare. Like aerial like sword fights between angels and demons.
Yeah.
Even if you're not from a religious background, that'd be really cool to experience, to play. And if you've ever read This Present Darkness, there's a really intense scenes in there.
Yeah, but it's a book, I hear, because I haven't read it. But my point is that help me get attached to the character that I'm creating,
And the world itself.
Yeah, and the world itself, like the world of Azeroth is great in terms of World of Warcraft. I have read up on lore of that place. It is so great. Blizzard, you did such a great job of building your world and making it interesting.
Yeah.
But yet, despite the fact that I'm an adventurer going out and killing things that are threatening the multiverse, I am incredibly boring.
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible? How is it that my character is so much more boring than this bartender?
Yeah.
who speaks only in rhymes?
Yeah. And that kind of one thing we talked about on our last recording.
I don't know if there is a bartender who speaks only in rhymes, but if there is, like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like the personality of like the bartender in Hearthstone, for example. I don't know if he's an actual character in the game or not, but
That's a thing.
just from his voice, he's got a personality.
Yeah.
Oh, you could forget all that and just have fun.
Boys, look who it is!
Yeah,
Make some room by the hearth!
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like-
just like a voice line as you're entering the game, but that gives that feeling of like entering a tavern, and it's like just like all those lines you can say.
It's like you're a regular there.
Yeah, like, I can tell you've got some new stories for us tonight.
Like,
Great atmosphere there.
The idea behind it is that you are one of the adventurers from World of Warcraft, and you frequent this tavern, and like you come in to just take a load off, and like as you come in, like everybody's happy to see you.
Yeah, just come in, and tell me all about your adventures.
It's insane. I've seen things where you have to fight giant dragons that threaten the destruction of the entire world, and you're the one who takes it down.
Yeah.
But you're still boring as fuck.
Yeah. Why can't you become a legend like like some of the other legends of the world, like
Tyrion, the Lich King, Sylvanas Windrunner. Everybody knows these names. Why can't you ever hit that level? Which is why it is I was talking about the legendary system, where like if a player kills something, like it's kind of like for anyone who has seen the Dot Hack series, there's Balmung, and I cannot remember the other guy's name for the life of me. But basically these two people killed one-time bosses who were super hard.
Yeah,
Like they were
maybe
so
that should be
hard.
a thing. Like kind of like, have you heard about the recent Hitman game and how they have like contracts, which are like you have 72 hours to take out this guy. If you fail, you only get one shot at it, and if you fail, then he's gone.
Yeah.
But it takes place on maps that you've previously been, so you can like go there and like scope the map out for any kind of information,
Yeah.
and prepare yourself, and then you've got one shot at him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'd be cool to have something like that in MMO, where like they have their raid bosses and everything, like they normally do, and all these bosses that respawn and everything. Then they have like occasionally have these legendary bosses that show up, and it's like this boss will be here for 72 hours. The first person to kill them will get this amazing title, and this boss is never showing up again.
Yeah.
It could even just be like a reskin of a boss that already exists, maybe some unique ability or something. But
don't do that.
I mean, just for in terms of like saving time and not spending too much money. But it'd be really cool to have like to have that be a thing where suddenly this character's name, because they killed him, is known all across the the in-game world.
Yeah, it's like you kill something that's essentially an old god, and it's like and it gets a title of God Killer, or something God Slayer, and it's like, and he has that title above his head, just God Slayer Steve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people see him like enter, and there's like someone with that title enters tavern, and everyone kind of just looks and is like, oh, that's the God Slayer.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fake that. Like there's no way to fake that above your head. I'm sure some people will figure out a way to fake it with fucking hacking and shit.
Yeah, but they'll be caught and they'll be banned. So.
Just go Blizzard on their ass. What I want is legends of my player of the player base.
Yeah.
Like have these huge legends where it's like fucking big game hunter, where it's someone like if it's a title that other people can get, something like big game hunter. If you get the title of big game hunter, it means that you for like a week straight hunted nothing but you fought nothing but enemies that were like 5 levels above you.
Yeah.
Like, and that was your thing. You only fought things that were hard to kill.
Yeah, like it could be like titles that they could have things like that where it's not like a legendary title, but it's a title that's really hard to get, but you can only have one title given. So,
yeah.
So there could be people who like grind for achievements to try to get all these titles, but it's kind of a reflection of who you are and what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Like the person, like the guy who played the Pandaria expansion, where you get to choose your alignment at the end of the tutorial. He didn't choose Alliance or Horde because he started neutral as the Pandarians. He didn't choose Alliance or Horde. He just hit the level cap, staying neutral the entire time by doing things like picking flowers and crafting potions and stuff.
Yeah.
He never left the starting area.
Which is great for him. Like
that could be something like that. Could like hit the level cap without choosing a side. It could be give you a title like of like pacifist or
like lore walker or whatever the hell it is that is. Just someone who walks the line. I don't know, but make players into legends.
Yeah, not in the sense of every character starts the game. It's like you are the chosen one. Like, let there be something. Don't just give them that title, the chosen one, just because they played.
And don't even coddle them in the beginning. Like when they come in, give them a general tutorial, but don't be like, oh my goodness, here, have 50 fucking potions.
Yeah.
like have them come in and like have someone there who's an asshole.
Yeah.
Just
start getting like Undertale. Have a guy who just like takes advantage of the fact that you're a new guy.
Yeah. Or maybe not even that. Just have them come in, and they're just a regular person. Nobody really gives a fuck about them. They treat them like they're just some random dude.
Yeah, it's like the you can almost compare it to the start to a lot of Elder Scrolls games. How in Morrowind you're just a prisoner just getting off the ship. No one really knows who you are. You got to make that legend for yourself. In Oblivion, it's kind of like that, except the king knows that he had a vision about you. So it's like you're a legend, but no one knows about it yet. So it's like you've got destiny, you just haven't proven it yet.
But as time goes on, you become the hero of Kvatch.
Yeah, and then people start saying that about you. And then Skyrim, which although I say is my favorite of the Elder Scrolls so far, mainly because of its mechanics and gameplay, it kind of starts you off
as a prisoner, and then shit builds.
Yeah, like it gets you into the whole Dragonborn world a lot faster. Like I don't know if it feels like I earned it as much as the other games. Because there's a point where you slay your first dragon, everyone's looking like you're Dragonborn and all this stuff, but even then, it still has that sense of you earned it.
Yeah. So when it comes to MMOs, please just like do what you can to elevate players into legends.
Yeah.
Like
everyone wants to be special, so don't make everyone special in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Have basic titles like brewmaster. Someone who's fantastic at, who has crazy high alchemy skills and has made like one of each potion. Like of every fucking potion, just boom, brewmaster. This is someone who is incredibly good at making potions, and then have something above that where it's like archpriest of brewmaster. I don't fucking know, okay? But just have something above that only one person can hold that title to.
Yeah, and then we see people with your title, you'll have something immediately you can connect on. It's like, oh hey, you're a brewmaster too.
Yeah, or someone or someone who like for instance, if they're if you have a class let's say someone's playing as like a mage or whatever, and when they get into battle, they don't really like pick and choose and plan their spells. They just fire everything.
Yeah.
Okay, give them the title of spell slinger.
Or trigger happy.
Or trigger happy, unless you have a gun class in there, in which case then give it to them.
Yeah, here's someone who just used all their ammo on one target even after it dies.
It's dead.
It's still dead.
It's double dead.
Yeah, but that's a good idea of like, on the flip side, you should also make it so like, as players achieve legendary status, and like only one person can hold certain titles. Make it hard and kind of struggle to hold on to the title. Not just because someone can take it away from you by overdoing your achievements, but because you're this legendary title, you're also known around the world, which means that people might try to assassinate you or take advantage of the fact that your name is known all throughout the server, so people are going to come after you. Maybe you don't want to hold that title because it's too much work.
Either coming after you for your autograph or to talk to you or something like that, or maybe people who are just like, here, would you like this poisoned biscuit?
Yeah, like make it such a lot of work to stay legend, not just to keep that status of like keep doing what you've been doing, but like people will see you, and just through social interaction, fame is hard.
If you have a title of like if there's an arena and you beat the arena and you have the title of Lord of the Arena, okay, you need to defend that title.
Yeah, if you don't show up for a week, then someone else is going to take the title from you because you haven't been staying there to earn your spot.
You haven't defended your position. You have Lord of the Arena.
Yeah.
Gone. Someone else is now the Lord of the Arena.
If you want it back, you have to go challenge them.
Yeah.
Which maybe have the advantage of, since you were the previous Lord of the Arena, you can like skip the preliminaries and go straight to challenging them yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you like send them a challenge and they don't respond within a week, then that means they're not really holding up their end of the bargain either. And people start whispering like questions like, is this person really Lord of the Arena, or like they're too scared to challenge this person or take this person's challenge?
Yeah. Of which case they then lose their title, and then the title is back up for grabs. Like not the previous Lord of the Arena. Just because he issued the challenge doesn't mean that he doesn't get it. If the
person who challenges doesn't accept, then then it just ends up being a tournament. Like, all right, this guy lost the title. Let's have a tournament to see who the next Lord is, and you can go and enter that tournament to regain your title.
Yeah, but make things active. Don't.
Yeah.
And don't go too crazy with this with so many titles like cherry picker.
Yeah.
It's just like how'd you get this? I picked up something on the ground and apparently it was a cherry and I got the title of cherry picker. No, don't be fucking ridiculous with this. Don't go crazy. A lot of the times, less is more.
Yeah, like have a smaller collection of things you can possibly go after, and then have like a greater level. Like, there'll be a lot of mages in the world, but only a select few can hold the title of Archmage.
Yeah, and even even fewer of them can hold something higher than that.
Yeah.
Like I don't fucking know, something better than Archmage. Fucking like one with the universe. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, whatever. I can't remember whatever Medivh's title is.
Guardian.
Yeah, like Guardian could be like the ultimate like aspiration for Archmages to reach for.
Yeah.
And just like in real life, there may be some people who will never reach that level, but they can still aspire to it, and they can be inspired to, take it their own way.
And again, like, well, not necessarily again, but also with guilds, like if you're in a guild, there can be titles within that guild, but if you prioritize your guild over your other well-known title, then that defeats that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are Archmage Steve, and you join and you join the guild, the River Runners, okay, you are River Runner Steve. You are not Archmage River Runner Steve. You are just River Runner Steve.
Yeah, but even within guilds, like, you can make it so that guilds can create their own titles for just for their members.
Yeah, like for instance, if you, like, again, going back to River Runners, if you have someone who is like a scout, and that's their class. Like, let's say for instance the River Runners is a huge role-playing guild. Their whole thing is role-playing. It's like, well, this person is a scout, this person is a sentry, this person is this. You can give people titles like that, and that would be great. That'd be fantastic. You can have people like mercenary this, titles are huge things, especially when they're earned. If someone has to earn their respect, they will work so hard for it. And this also ties in to where I was also saying with legendary bosses. If somebody kills a legendary boss and they drop their loot and they get the Hammer of Ragnaros, that's the only Hammer of Ragnaros.
Yeah.
Period. There will not be another Hammer of Ragnaros. That is the only one, because there is only one.
Yeah. So you also have to have, like, there are certain levels of fairness. Like, if that's the only one, then if it's the best, that means that whoever has that is going to have an advantage. So maybe there's, like, maybe if it comes to, like, PvP or, like, arena fights or whatever, stuff like that, they could, like, ban legendary weapons. Because, you can hoist around, like, as, like, a status symbol. Like this, this is the hammer. Right, I think Ragnaros' hammer is called, like, Sulfuron or something like that.
Sure, why not?
So it's like, I've got Sulfuron. It's like, but that's really not fair when you're fighting against people who have just regular weapons.
Who are using copper daggers.
Yeah, so like you could have like there might be an arena where everyone's on the same level in terms of equipment. Like, everyone gets the same stuff, so it's more based on skill as opposed to equipment.
Yeah. Which is another thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about skill.
Okay.
Let's talk about this, okay? Can we please stop having MMO battle systems being right-click on him and whoever runs out of HP first loses?
Yeah, and then as you level up, hit more buttons, but keep pressing the same sequence of buttons, like 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. This is really compelling gameplay.
This is one thing that I'm actually learning a little bit. I'm trying to implement more and more into my D&D campaigns. Is that I'm trying to get the environment in.
Yeah.
Like
give players like tactical options and.
Yeah. Where it's like if you want to climb up a building to get a vantage point and start shooting arrows at something, you can. If you want to get behind a tree for cover from that fucker who's shooting arrows at you, you can.
Yeah, not that it's something you need to practice. You've been pretty good about this, but it's good to have a DM that that never says no. Like, if players says, "Can I do this?" Like, you can try. Well, it might not work, but you can try. There are some things which would be impossible. It's like, well, based on how your spell works, you can't cast like 3 spells in one turn, even with sorcery points.
Yeah, which will probably if you're high enough level. But my point is that, what I'm saying is that that's a D&D thing. But like in MMOs, if my opponent is beginning to cast Fireball and I'm aware that Fireball is an explosion and there is a house next to me, I should be able to get behind the house and take cover from the Fireball.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, if this was PvP and I see that my opponent has gotten behind cover, I should be able to lob that Fireball over the cover.
Yeah.
Like and get them from the other and get them on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's understandable why combat systems have been like this for so long, all the way back from EverQuest to even like early days of World of Warcraft, where servers just weren't up to keeping this in real time. I think we're up to that point now where we can start exploring like other possible combat methods.
A good example of that being Terra, where Terra doesn't have the auto attacking system. It has
Yeah.
you have to put in your inputs, which granted that I know Corey isn't too big of a fan of it, but it's
Well, yeah.
it's a great idea.
I haven't said this on the podcast yet, so I'll just make it really short. Terra was so close to what I was looking for. You know, real-time combat, actually seeing like, you know, oh, they're about to slam down in this area, so I better move out of the way and dodge, or I better put my shield and like parry this back. You know, things like that. It was so close, but it still ended up, maybe it's because I played the tank, but it still ended up being like, you know, repeatedly left click to attack. You know, sequence through the abilities in the same order every time. So, although it was in real time and had dodging stuff, it was better. It still felt like a real-time skin on every other MMO I've played.
Yeah, but
it was close though. I enjoyed it for a time until I realized, oh, I'm doing this again.
my point is that yes, there are a lot of things here and there with MMOs that I like and I don't like and all that stuff, but a lot of times when it just comes down to it, an MMO is a very miss area for me. It's very, very miss.
Yeah.
I'll play it for a little bit and get bored very, very quickly because there's just not a lot of substance for me to keep going. For me, I don't like loot-based games. I don't like it when it's like, hey, this weapon is better than this weapon, so therefore this new weapon will make you a better character. That in terms of damage. And I was like, why? This makes no sense. Why is there such a huge diversity of all these weapons? Now, I get it once you get into magical enchantments, yes, that's where the diversity should kick in. But if you start off with an iron sword, the iron sword should be the same damage of every other iron sword.
Yeah, it should be.
Until you pick up, oh, this is a steel sword.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you move, and then it's like, this is a steel sword. This is much more durable. It hits harder. It's heavier. It's got more heft behind it, and it's much more stable, and something like that. Unless you can give me a defining characteristic of why it is that this sword is better than that sword, stop doing that. I hate that. I absolutely detest that. And also, please.
It ends up being like the whole thing where every character, you know, every chosen one out there has the same equipment because it's just the best, and it's like, you got your tier 2 armor, let's now go out and fight somebody. Oh, this is some tier 3 armor. And it's like, it's exactly like the stuff that everybody else around me is wearing, so I don't feel unique at all.
It's like at the end of Fallout 3. If you ever get to the end of Fallout 3, I don't know if you have yet, Corey, but if you get to the end of Fallout 3, and you take a picture of yourself and you're just like, hey, this is what my character looks like at the end of the game, you will realize that your character looks like everybody else at the end of the game, because at the end of the game, you learn to use power armor, and power armor is the best armor, period. There's no reason to not use power armor.
Yeah, whereas if you take a picture, like what I've been doing with Dark Souls, every time I finish the game, I'll take a picture of my character in that ending cutscene, and every character I made looks completely different. And I'm sure that all the characters I made also completely different from you. There's elements of like, you know, like what we call fashion souls, where maybe you won't have the best equipment, but you'll look good. And other things where there's a lot of different types of good equipment. Like, are you more about dodging and being quick, or do you want to sit there and be a tank with a massive shield and Smo's armor?
Yeah, which you can see in this large thing where, like, most of my characters, I like going the lightweight character. Sometimes like I think I only went like heavy once, and that was in Dark Souls 1 when I had that challenge thing where like you remember that website that generated a challenge where I had to use the black iron, not the black iron set, but the golem set, the one on top of Smo's, not Smo's Fortress, but Sen's Fortress.
Yeah.
That was my armor that I had to use. You can't upgrade that armor at all, so I was just like, all right. And so. Yeah.
And you also had you weren't allowed to use shields either, though.
Yeah, and
it's like heavy armor, no shields. Like, that's kind of difficult.
And I was just like, sure, fuck it, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I beat the game. It was great. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I think I had that armor and Smo's hammer was my build, and I was just like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was doing the Life Hunt build.
Yeah.
Where I just had like crazy bleed resistance the Life Hunt side, so I could just like cause everything to bleed, and I'd be able to withstand the bleed build-up on my own character.
But anyways, so one more thing, please, when it comes to MMOs. Let me customize my equipment. And let me get into this for a little bit. Never, ever make it possible to min-max something. Okay,
Yeah.
like I know that's hard to do, but do your best.
That's
to
be one of
do-
those things where MMO veterans like that's the whole point of MMO. It's like, then why? I don't know. Just the whole idea of like min-maxing means like if I start a character in World of Warcraft, say, and I just play it for fun, and then I get to a point where I want to be competitive at like level 40, I look at my build path and I'm like, oh, this is not the optimal build path for what I want to do, so I'm just going to be hampering my guild. So now I have to either make a new character or find some way to reroll my stats. Now I'm just like every other priest or every other,
Yeah.
tank in the game. Because I'm using, these are like mathematically, this is like the optimal build, and if I don't do this, I'm holding my team back.
Yeah.
The other problem I had with PvP in League of Legends,
which is where it is that my customization thing comes in. If I have, like again, going back to low level, if I have a steel sword, okay,
yeah,
let me go to a blacksmith, okay, or a swordsmith, okay, and don't have them just sell me equipment or let me sell equipment to him. Let me go up to him, hand him my sword, and have him sharpen it for me, or have him increase the durability for me. Sharpening is like if you sharpen the blade, it lowers its durability. If you strengthen the blade and increase its durability, you lose sharpness.
yeah. Think about all the all the weapons out there, like all the legendary weapons and MMOs and stuff that are maybe not that powerful a weapon, but maybe they're powerful, but like it's named after a person. What if that person, maybe the weapon's famous not because it's powerful, because it's named after a person who was famous.
Yeah.
So eventually you could have like your sword, even though it started out just like a steel sword, you keep upgrading it and you get like magic enchantments, and it's like this is something that belongs to you. It's like how for an example, I'm not super up to date on or super versed in the history of like the samurai, but I imagine that the samurai, the sword was like a part of them. They didn't like go, oh, this sword looks better, I'm just gonna buy this one, toss out this old one. No, they had like one sword that was like a part of them.
That could very well be true. I actually don't know.
Yeah.
They
I don't recall. I think I remember saying about that.
They did believe that if a katana was drenched in blood for too long, it became possessed.
Yeah.
Which there's this famous example of I can't remember their names, but it was these two samurai. One of them was the one who wrote the Book of Five Rings, and the other one was this other guy who was essentially his rival.
Yeah. I remember hearing about the guy who wrote the Book of Five Rings. I can't remember his name though.
They both went to test the purity of their swords, and it was an autumn day, and they took their swords and they stuck them into the river with the blade facing upriver, so the current was coming towards the blades.
Yeah.
If you and they said that as the leaves fell onto the water and came towards it, the leaves were attracted to his rival's blade and were split on the blade. And his rival took this as a victory. He was like, "Look, my blade is so much better than yours because it is cutting without any force." To which he responded, "But look at my blade." And when they looked over at it, the leaves, if they came towards it, they would go like it was almost as though the water went around, and like the leaves went around the blade. It's like my blade has no will to cut unless I am holding it.
Yeah.
So with that, he was basically saying that his blade was possessed.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting story.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But like, let that happen.
Let legends be forged in the player's weapon. Let them feel attached to the weapon instead of just saying, "Oh, this." Like an example would be in the Old Republic, we can get super far into that, but if you play a Jedi character, especially I don't know about the I can't remember the Sith side, but the Jedi side at least, you get to like craft your lightsaber, and that should be a really special time for a Jedi, and that should be like your lifelong weapon. But then you play for another 5 levels, and it's like, oh, here's a new lightsaber. It's better than the one that I crafted myself. I don't need this anymore. So let the player get attached to their weapon and grow along with it.
You should never in an MMO should you pick up a weapon of legend and then say, hey, this other legend weapon is better.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that there are different tiers of legendary.
Yeah.
But a weapon of legend should never, ever, ever be seen as useless.
Yeah.
And if you have to do this by making less legendary weapons, do
so
that.
Be it. Yeah, so be it.
like if you have the staff of Kel'Thuzad, which is a weapon of necromancy, it shouldn't be viewed as useless when compared to the staff of Archmage Antonidas.
Yeah.
These should be two completely different staffs that do two completely different things.
Yeah, it's like a necromancer build. It's like, oh, this is perfect for me. Well, it's whereas staff Antonidas, I should give it to my mage friend.
Yeah. Which, again, is just, I don't know, like, make someone's playthrough unique. If you have to install an economy system, make that fantastic.
Yeah,
Like I was just thinking about this. Like, this just popped into my head. Like, imagine when the world first starts off, people are like in the original town. That town's probably going to be pretty fucking rich of all these new people coming in, spending their money, getting better equipment, and then moving on, slaying monsters, coming back to sell those monster pieces, getting more equipment, and just fucking, that town's great. That town's got fantastic economy.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, and there's less and less new players coming in, that town's economy is going to start to drop.
Yeah.
Okay? So as that happens, when, like, later on in the game, when new players come in, they're going to come into a town that doesn't have great economy. They're not going to have great equipment available, and maybe, I don't know if you want to go Sword Art Online on this, maybe most of the monsters in the area have been hunted to near extinction.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when having a friend at a higher level is great. That guy could be like your patron. He's just like, dude, here's like 500 gold. That's like, it's not even a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. It's like how, I'm going to take an example from our D&D campaign, and going back to the idea of, like, being attached to your weapons. You know, for my character, my character's a cleric who wields a spear, and he brought just this average everyday spear that he picked up at a shop somewhere, into a blacksmith, and he's like, hey, can you improve this somehow? And he's like, come back in one day. And I'm like, okay. So I came back the next day. He didn't just sharpen my spear. He made the entire thing out. Like, I end up with like a full metal spear. And now if I'm playing and I see another spear on the ground, I'm not going to be as likely to pick it up. I'm more likely to go to a town and say, hey, can you enchant this spear? Or can you make the spear even better than it already is?
Yes.
I'm really attached to the weapon.
Yeah. Or like I had a friend. I played with someone who had a sword of dragon slaying. Okay. Yeah. His sword was only good for killing dragons. Like, he got like pretty good buffs when he was fighting against a dragon. And do you know what the name of his sword was? Kindness. So yeah. when he went to fight a dragon, he went, all right, I'm gonna kill him with kindness.
Yeah. And I feel like eventually once.
And it was funny every time.
Yeah. And I feel like eventually I'll actually end up naming that spear as it becomes a more important central piece of my character. Yeah. Absolutely. It's my spear. It's not like I found this legendary spear of some ancient deity. It's like, this is my spear.
And on one of my other characters, she has this staff that has a scorpion motif on the very top of it. This staff does nothing. This is just a walking stick essentially. But yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that staff. If possible, I would like to get it enchanted. I would like to see if I can get it, become a catalyst or something like that. But as far as I'm concerned, is like when I first picked it up, my DM was just telling me that it was just a fancy looking stick, and I'm just like, yeah. Cool. It's like just because it's this, it doesn't mean it's worthless. But
yeah, you can see the potential in it. Like, it's cool looking. So it's like I was watching Critical Role, and just like before you got on, I was watching it, and Tiberius had this jeweled dagger that he got when they were hunting the Rakshasa. Yeah. And he did an Arcana check on it, and it's like, there's nothing enchanted about it. It'd be a great tool for enchantments, but it's just a dagger. It's like a really fancy-looking dagger. Yeah. And to me, I'd be like, awesome, I've got this really cool jeweled dagger. I'm going to get an enchantment on it when I get out of this situation. And maybe that'll happen later. I haven't seen that far yet.
And also like let your players carry a low-level weapon to a high-level ranking.
Yeah.
Let them take a copper dagger that does piss poor damage and let them work on it as they get better and better and better, and then eventually at their highest level they have this amazing copper dagger, which, granted, maybe it's not for stabbing anymore. Maybe they've transformed this copper dagger into a catalyst of fireball, so when they stab it into somebody, they can point blank detonate a fireball.
Yeah, like stab them and like set inside them a delayed fireball.
Yeah, and let them do that. I know this is probably a programming nightmare.
Yeah, that's the fun
But
thing about D&D. It's all in the mind, so if you can imagine it, it's doable. But yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Do your best to turn D&D into into something like that. You know?
I guess what we're getting at is make a D&D MMO that feels just like the RPG.
No, what I'm getting at is stop playing MMOs, start playing D&D.
Yeah, that too.
Alright. Now seems like a good time to end it. I believe I have ranted long enough. This is actually longer than our last one.
Yeah, this podcast is it's a lot longer than the last one, and we end up not covering like even half the topics we went over before. But that's good. We had a good talk about like.
We dove deeper into the other ones. The other ones we mostly kind of skimmed the surface. We were really kind of scatterbrained.
Yeah, we talked about things we didn't like text boxes and the repetitive combat and let's messy interfaces. Let's
go over that really quick, okay? Walls of text for quests, don't do that, please. That's bullshit. Nobody's reading that.
Yeah, like look at Star Wars: The Old Republic, where they have fully voiced cutscenes and give you context to your quests.
Or at the very, or at fetch quests. Do not make me go out into the wild, kill boars, come back with their tusks to the same person, give them the boars, get my reward, and then talk to the same person again, who then asked me to go kill bigger boars and do the same thing.
Like dire boars.
Give me all of the quests they want me to do there. Let me do the thing and not come back to them. A good example is Xenoblade Chronicles. That's what they did. It's like, hey, I need you to slay 3 of these things because they're endangering this. Okay, you slay 3 of them. Boom! It's instantly done. You instantly get your reward if it's just like raw money or something like that. There are sometimes you do have to come back to the person, but that's mostly it's like, hey, I lost my watch. Can you go find it? And yeah, of course you'd have to return it to the person.
Yeah, but you also mentioned that you can say like, hey, I need to kill 3 boars, and then you've talked to them again without leaving, and say, by the way, while you're out there, can you also kill 6 of these things?
Yeah, and then you can, and you know what that promotes? That promotes me standing in front of them and spamming A until I get done and I no longer get quest prompts. I'm like, great, got them all, and then I go.
Yeah.
Or here's an idea. Can we get a bulletin board quest? Please? Can we get player-based bulletins where it's
that'd be great. That'd be a fetch quest would have a lot more meaning if you know it's for another player instead of just an NPC. Like someone walks up and say, hey, I'm trying to type out onto the bulletin board, hey, I'm trying to craft these leather pauldrons, but I'm a little bit short on leather. Can someone bring me like 15 cowhides or whatever they are?
Yeah. And if you already have the cowhides, just there you go. Here's the cowhides.
And the person can go back to the bulletin board and say, oh look, someone finished my quest. Here's the materials I asked for.
Yeah.
Like someone has an excess of money but needs materials and don't want to go out and get them themselves, or maybe they're not capable of maybe they have the hides but they need someone who's experienced in tanning.
Yeah.
Like they're armor smiths, but they can't tan leather.
And that supports a diversity of things. I heard that in World of Warcraft in the earlier days when it was in vanilla, it was more of kind of a Second Life kind of thing where not everybody wanted to be adventurers. A lot of people just leveled up different things, and there were people who played the game specifically to be a blacksmith or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And on that note, let players there's a lot of MMOs that have player housing, but let players have a shop, or if they want to be a blacksmith, let them open their doors to business. And when they're there, it's open and people can walk up to them and say, hey, can you do this for me? It's like a player-to-player interaction instead of NPCs running everything.
Yeah.
If a merchant wants to, someone wants to play as a traveling merchant, let them buy stock in one town and then go sell it in another town for a different value with the in-game economy system.
And if they're abusing the economy system, something fierce, have NPCs react to that.
Yeah, and have the economy be affected by their abuse. Once a player is abusing the economy, the NPC starts catching on, oh hey, this is a good way to make money, so they'll start doing the same thing, and the value of that thing they're abusing will drop.
Yeah. Where it's it's like selling nothing but swordfish in RuneScape. How are there so many swordfish?
Yeah, so I think most players sold lobsters because they were easier to catch, and I don't know. At least that's what I tend to do. Swordfish were technically better healing items, but they were also expensive to the point that most adventurers just bought lobster because they were cheaper and the health difference usually wasn't that that big a deal. Like an inventory full of lobster was
It doesn't
more
matter.
more cost effective. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, my point is that if somebody wants to be a blacksmith, or if somebody wants to be a leather worker, or somebody wants to be a lumberjack or something like that, let them do that, and then let people who want to be alchemists, who need components, like if they're really good at alchemy, make them almost shit at fighting.
Yeah, or have someone like who's really great at alchemy make it so they have to hire like herbalists who are good at collecting ingredients.
Yeah, or rangers who are good at scouting and finding the ingredients.
That's kind of what enraptured me about whatever you think of the anime Sword Art Online. There are a lot of people who don't like it. There's people who only like the first half of it, and for that first half at the very least, because I agree that the first half is definitely the best part of it. But the world of Sword Art Online, you saw people who, not everybody was a fighter. There's a lot of people who were who ran shops, or like the one episode where Kirito went in to get to a blacksmith to get a new weapon.
Yeah.
And they went on a quest to get like materials and all that stuff.
And it was a player.
Yeah, I'd love to have an experience like that in the MMO where I go up to a blacksmith and say, hey, can you make a really good sword for me? And it's like, I don't know, I don't have the materials for it. Like what you're looking for is going to be really hard to get. So then you travel maybe with the blacksmith to go and get those materials.
Yeah. It's like, make a world.
Yeah.
Of something like this. Just make a world.
Yeah. What if they had something like
and make failure something, please. I would love to make something where failure is a thing.
Yeah.
Where going back to the 72-hour boss thing. If you don't kill that boss within 72 hours, something happens.
Yeah.
Like a town gets wiped.
Yeah. Maybe you can make an MMO where maybe it's like a dying world, and you're coming there to like repopulate it. Like there's NPCs, but not very many of them. So as players come in, they start to fill in the missing spots. As like people start taking up the empty shops, and build like an economy where it's player driven with very few NPCs.
Yeah. Anyways, so
that'd be kind of cool.
We have to wrap this up now because I need to go make dinner.
Yeah, and we've been going for quite a while now. It's one of our longer podcasts, I think.
This is fantastic. Like, we're really passionate about this because MMOs is something that we would love to get into. But, and we're not going super SJW on this. We're not saying change MMOs so that way we can play. We understand that this is probably a genre that's just probably not for us. And
yeah, there are a lot of people who enjoy what they have, so don't take that away from them. Just make something for us too.
Yeah, we're not saying change MMOs to be this. We're saying if you want to make a new game, here's our ideas.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as great as it would be for us to make our own MMOs, we have the program. I have the programming skills of a rock, but I can make a good story.
Yeah. And I'm still in training. I've got some basic programming skills, but I could never dream making something like this.
Yeah.
Plus, it'd probably be one of those things where you need like a big team and a big budget and lots of time.
So. Yeah, let's go ask Blizzard. I'm sure they'll be cool.
Yeah, how did they make World of Warcraft 2?
Hey Blizzard, would you kindly help us make a game that beats yours? Anyways,
yeah.
Thank you everybody so much for listening.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. So if you're actually listening right now, and you just like skip to the end for some reason, then thank you so much for listening to us ramble. Leave the comments if you have any thoughts on our ideas, or if you agree or disagree.
Yes. Please, I value comments so much more than likes and favorites.
Yeah,
I
same
really
here.
do. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. My name is Zathos.
And I'm Solanima.
We'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.